Welcome to Escape This Podcast, a show that's a mix between tabletop role-playing and escape room puzzles. We are now on episode 7 of our fan Game Master arc. We've done this once before. I don't know if there's a proper name for these things.
No. And so typically this would be the point where I'm hitting major burnout. But again, I've been sort of getting better each time this season. However, we have just taken a long gap between recordings.
We have taken a long gap. So you've lost all
I've
puzzle
reset.
momentum. We're back to square one, but that's all right.
Let's find out.
Our square one is everybody else's
Whoa,
square 10.
where you go? Wait, whoa.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's where we are. Every episode this season, we have a guest game master, a fan of the show, come on to run Dani and me through one of their rooms that they've created. And this episode, our special guest is Cec Ganz. Welcome.
Hi.
I know nothing about the room that you've brought us. I don't know if you want to wait until we get completely started, or do you want to drop like a little quick taste before we ask you some questions?
Do you have a tease?
What's the teaser for the room?
The teaser is in the form of 2 questions. The 2 questions are this. Dani, if you were a little girl growing up in Victorian times, what plant name do you think you would love to have?
What?
Well, Dani,
Oh no.
what plant name would your little Victorian girl have?
Okay. Oh, that's a good one.
And how much soot is covering your face?
Quite a bit.
Oh no, I have too much power. There are some fancy plant names out there.
Pick a plant.
No, I'm
All right,
I think I
corn.
heard chrysanthemum.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
chrysanthemum.
All I was going was not petunia, not petunia.
Petunia.
Fantastic. And the second question, Bill, if you were an insect, what kind of insect or bug do you think you would be?
I were an insect.
That's an exciting
But then again,
question.
no.
Oh,
or a man who
God.
made potions and no. If I was an insect, I would be. You know, the first thing that jumped into my head,
What?
cool stick insect.
Oh, I love
You know those
stick
beautiful,
insects.
long, ridiculous stick insects?
Yeah, they're fantastic. I was
That's-
tempted by dragonfly.
Nah, it's
but-
ridiculous.
Stick insects can't fly.
They don't need to fly. They're slow and immovable. They hang out.
Ugh. What about ladybugs? The secret douchebags.
The assassins of the insect world.
Exactly.
No, I will be a.
Is there a correct answer to this?
No.
Of course, I hope not. Yeah, I'm a stick insect, apparently. Now you all know my Myers-Briggs type.
I would
All
have
right.
picked mine as a moth.
So does that mean that just sidebar discussion, Dani? Does that mean the room
We're in a
is going to be a
Victorian
Victorian
era
girl?
garden somewhere.
You know what it is?
Mhm.
You know in Twilight Princess, in Legend of Zelda
Oh,
Twilight
no, we're
Princess,
Agatha.
there's that weird bug girl
Agatha.
who feels out of time because she looks like a little Victorian girl and she collects bugs all over Hyrule.
Yeah.
That's what the room's about.
It's the most erotic part of the game.
Oh my god. All
Do
right.
you not remember it?
Guess not. Well, there we are. We're going to be a Hyrulean bug collector.
That is a
What
baffling
an
teaser.
interesting escape room thing.
Yeah, okay,
Um,
I'm into it. But we should probably get to the normal questions. After such abnormal questions, what? So, first question that we asked everyone who comes on here, tell us a little bit about your escape room experience.
I don't have a lot of escape room experience, actually. The one escape room I think I've really done, I was at a language camp, a foreign language camp. People living in the United States, especially in Ohio, please check out the Ohio Foreign Language Association summer camp. It's fantastic, and they need all of the support they can get. They're wonderful. They did a little multi-language puzzle escape. It was more of a lockbox than a room because it was a bunch of children, and that would probably be considered cruelty. But that's the only escape room I've done. But I've always absolutely loved puzzles and codes. I was the kind of person who tried to make up like languages. I have
Oh, yeah.
a cipher
Nice.
in like a special script that I sometimes write in my journal. Like these are the things that are just my absolute bread and butter. I love them so much.
Nice.
I always found one of the things from our childhood sort of time that really separated people who would like escape rooms and people who wouldn't was anybody who tried to decipher the
Artemis
the
Fowl
Artemis
codes.
Fowl codes at
Yep.
the bottoms of the books.
100%.
of all
I
the
wonder if
Artemis
that's
Fowl
still an
series.
applicable question to ask
Oh,
people.
kids don't read books anymore, Dani.
How
They just
dare you.
play on their iPads. And then our other side of this show is that it's escape rooms mixed with a sort of tabletop role-playing feeling. So do you have any tabletop role-playing experience?
That is something I do have a lot of experience in. Quite a few years ago, my partner at the time and partner now, my lovely boyfriend got me into D&D by making a D&D group with all of my friends but me, because nobody thought I would really like it. They thought I would either love it or hate it. Joke's on them, I am obsessed. And I have been ever since I started playing. I loved it. I started watching Critical Role and listening to other actual play things, so I absolutely have so much admiration for some of the people who have been on Escape This Podcast who are on those kinds of shows. And I, to this day, love running D&D things for people, and I want to get into other RPGs, but I usually play the big one.
Nice.
All right, lovely. And of course, there is one other question that we ask all of our guests who are coming on to run rooms for us, which is, if you were a small bug growing up in Victorian England, what type of bug would you be, and what would your fun plant name be?
I would be a moth, and my plant name would be Forsythia.
Ah, see, there are really good ones.
First one that came
Couldn't
to
think
mind,
of
I'm
any of
sorry.
I'm still quite comfortable with my stick insect.
Whatever.
I think we're ready to go.
Nope, my pen's run out. How have you run out? I can see you're full.
Use a pencil. They're so reliable. Do you know how I know
Look at
if my
how
pencil
much
works?
ink is in this.
Well, look how much lead there is in my pencil, but it's trustworthy. You can just look at it. It's a pencil.
Ah.
Does
Ow.
this one work?
No, that probably doesn't work, but the other one probably does.
Here's our
The box
special
one
box
pencil.
one pen.
Yep, that'll do.
All right, Cease, would you like to whisk us away into a world of adventure?
Absolutely. I do have to do a little disclaimer. This room deals with some magic and witchcraft sorts of themes, and I just want to make it clear because I know that there are people who do identify religiously and spiritually as witches, and specifically like with the Wiccan religion. I really don't want to come off as disrespecting that in any way. I find a lot of the lore that connects to that really fascinating, and I tried to only use that sort of thing as inspiration in a respectful and loving manner. So, for anyone out there who identifies with this, please know I love you, and I really hope that I do not come off as someone appropriating your wonderful spirituality. With that, shall we jump in?
Let's do it.
Chrysanthemum, you are a new member of the household of Miss Hawthorne, a rich and eccentric woman known for taking in young girls as her wards. What isn't so obvious is that her wards are young witches in training, her apprentices in the study of magic.
Nice.
You've only been here for about a week, but you have already learned the basic rules of magic, along with those of the house. Tonight, Miss Hawthorne is out at a social event, so the housekeeper, Mrs. Bellflower, puts you and the other girls to bed. It's a beautiful, quiet night, and you sleep soundly, for a while, until a cold breeze rouses you once more. You can just make out the time, 11:24, by the moonlight coming in through the closed window. Quietly, you wrap yourself in your blanket, creep past your sleeping cohort, and tiptoe down the grand front stairs. The house is almost silent, save the snoring of an exhausted Mrs. Bellflower, and a giggle and a whisper. You move closer to investigate. Past the lesson room with "Knowledge is power" inscribed over the door, into the back door of the house which leads into the garden. Finally, you can make out the people on the back stoop. Some random boy from the neighborhood and Vivian, alone with a strange boy, outside the house, at night. Definitely not acceptable behavior by Miss Hawthorne's standards. Any other girl...
Such a buzzkill, Chrysanthemum.
Any other girl you might have left alone, but not Vivian. Not Vivian, who has already made your life here a living hell. This is an opportunity. So, with bated breath, you wait. Until finally, the boy leaves, dashing out of the side gate after receiving a scandalous cheek peck from Vivian. How would you like to confront her?
Oh, goodness. Okay. I'm gonna stay where I am, but I'm going to start doing a overt but seemingly innocent whistle. Let's go.
You see Vivian whips around, and her face changes from just an instant of a sort of happy smile to pure hatred and rage. I should have known you would be spying on me.
Spying? On you? I was spying on these lovely leaves here. Couldn't you tell by my whistle how much I was enjoying myself?
So mean to you.
What might you be doing here, best friend?
Oh, Chrysanthemum, would you like to come out here and show me those leaves? Or do you want to stay inside and prove to me that you really are just another one of Miss Hawthorne's talentless charity cases?
Okay, well, I don't work well under that in that sort of environment. So I guess I'll do whatever's gonna stop the insults. So I guess that means I gotta go outside.
Unfortunately, you are a little hot-headed, and you are infuriated by this insult. You lunge at Vivian, who has been tormenting you for the better part of a week at this point. Unfortunately, she is pretty quick and sees you coming, and nimbly steps aside, letting you fall hard onto the hard stone of the stoop. You close your eyes, trying to hold back the tears, being only around 10. And you hear the sound of the door closing and the click of its lock.
Ow.
You little sneak, Vivian hisses at you through the door. Just wait until Miss Hawthorne gets back. You'll be in more trouble than old cheating Mary Fernweather. That'll teach you to spy on me.
Mary Fernweather?
Miss Hawthorne could come back any time. And you don't even want to think about what might happen if you're not back in bed before she does.
Oh, goodness. Why am I so alone?
I'm just a stick insect.
Okay, what's going on? What have I got? I look all around me trying to see if there's something. Is Miss Hawthorne the sort of person who puts a key under a mat? Anything like that?
You start to look around, but you're so frightened by the night that you actually stop yourself and remember that one of the few spells that you've learned in your time here is summoning your familiar. So you begin to cast. And eventually, a little stick bug walks out of the greenery near the back stoop and approaches you.
Oh, thank God, the least frightening insect. Oh.
Hello, how are you?
Unfortunately, you're also gigantic, so you probably can't sneak under a door or something for me, can you?
I am a 6-foot stick insect. I shall rip the door from its hinges.
All right. So, now that we're together, a little bit more calm down. Okay, let's tell me what's going on around me. In particular, the door, but...
Absolutely. You are standing in front of the large, ornate double door that is the back door into this garden. It sits at the top of a set of stairs, and from those stairs there is a stone and gravel path that leads out into the center of this sort of long garden, where it then encircles a small but rather ornate fountain. Please don't draw an ornate fountain, Dani.
Are you sure?
You could draw like 2 tiers.
Now, the worst thing that's happened, Dani, is that I put my door on the north side and you put yours on the south side.
I always put my door on the south side.
The best part of this is that I've put mine on the west side, so none of us is correct. All the way across from the door, opposite to it, on the very other side of the garden, there is a bench made of various materials, mostly wood and wrought iron.
All right.
The door is set into the back wall of the house, and the other 3 sides of the garden are surrounded by a perimeter of a boundary hedge. Directly to the right of the steps is a small cluster of trees, and there's a single larger tree in the opposite corner of the garden. And on either side of the fountain, near the boundary hedge, sort of on the perimeter of the garden, on the left side is a flower bed with various sorts of flowers in it. And in the middle of the right boundary hedge is a small sundial on a pedestal. And the last significant thing is around the garden are 7 relatively large stone statues.
Now, I do not yet know what these are statues of, so I'm going to guess. Okay, well, apparently that one's a fat baby. I didn't see that coming. It just existed.
I've gone to very little effort.
Crocodile. Oh, this is not effort. It just also happens to be slow.
All right, good.
I don't know what that... Oh, no, that one's a shark or a whale or something.
Just draw your statues. All right. Okay. Are we good to start looking around?
Absolutely.
Tell you, what other cool stuff have I been learning this week? So I've learned how to summon a familiar, which is handy.
Mm-hmm.
Any other awesome things in my arsenal?
Unfortunately, one of the main things you've learned is the wrath of Miss Hawthorne. There are really horrible stories of especially Mary Fernweather, the girl that had been mentioned to you, who apparently was using various tricks to cheat in her magical schoolwork. And no one knows exactly what happened to her, only that Miss Hawthorne found out, and that Mary was caught.
Well, I am just drawing a gravestone right now. There we go. Mary Fernweather. Makes sense to me. All right, stick insect. I don't know how much of this you can actually perceive.
All of it.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's go for the most obvious one. Let's go to the sundial.
What's that? I'm a stick insect. You have to explain to me the concept of sundial.
Nope. This is as clear as it's getting.
I can't tell the time. I have no concept of time in my small... I barely have a brain. More of a distributed central nervous system.
I fumble in the moonlight towards that sundial.
All right.
Getting my 6-foot insect on my shoulder.
Let's head to the sundial.
This is a very unusual sundial. It has no numbers, only the letters of the alphabet on 2 separate concentric rings.
That's Cody. That's so Cody.
Can we, are they movable, those rings?
When touching them, they do move.
So we can line these up in a classic cipher.
Sounds like it, but we don't really know anything yet. Is the dial-y bit itself, is that pointed to anything in particular?
Not anything in particular, no.
Cool.
Well, we'll hopefully get something that says, like, A goes to T or something.
Yep.
And then we can line them up and find some kind of sun-based message.
Fingers crossed. All right.
All right. Well, as a stick insect, I would like to go and check out one of these trees. So why don't we go and check out that really big tree?
You like a big tree?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm in character.
Let's dash right across the other side of the space to big tree.
Large and strong, providing shade to the areas under its boughs, this tree also has a heart carved into its trunk. Ooh. And inside the heart are the initials L plus Q.
That sounds like a cipher wheel.
Could be. Good to know. Would we have really just coincidentally picked the 2 things that go together?
Maybe there's nothing else in the room. Maybe if we tried to look at anything else.
But even
they'd
then...
say, no, that's not there.
That would be astonishingly lucky. So I think we should keep looking at stuff.
Well, also, if we did L and Q, I don't think we'd reveal anything. Because we'd then have a cipher
and we'd
set
still
up
need
to
letters
read
to
non-existent.
match.
Like, we wouldn't have a
That's
message
true,
to
that's
do
true.
anything with. So,
Good point.
okay.
And just out of curiosity, L plus Q. Do those initials strike anything with us? Do we know a girl who starts with Q or something? Anything that would just give us some gossip fuel?
Oddly enough, you don't know anyone who is currently here at Miss Hawthorne's house that has either of those initials.
That's disappointing.
But as a stick insect, I know that it's a ladybug and a quail. The most unlikely pair.
Oh my goodness.
Usually quails would eat ladybugs,
Yeah.
but no. They've broken that
quite
boundary.
something.
Like Romeo and Juliet. I'm sure it'll end well. Okay, what do you want to look at now?
I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I think we should go take a seat on the bench.
All right, let's go to the bench.
I'm young in Victorian times. I'm about
I was gonna say-
I'm about to have the vapors, I'm sure.
I was going to say, you've probably got tuberculosis. You better take a seat.
Probably.
So let's take a look at this bench.
The bench is a combination of wood and iron, with stained glass designs of the lunar phases set into the back of it.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Is that something we can take a closer look at? Or maybe we need to come back with some actual information that we need? I don't know if it's a reference or a puzzle. Can we have a closer look at these lunar phase things?
You notice they're all in various colors. They seem to be sort of shifting out from the central. It's hard to tell if it's meant to be a full moon or a new moon. That's a sort of blue glass color. And the rest of them shift into purples and greens and so on to sort of complete that.
So it seems like maybe it's not a self-contained puzzle, but possibly something we could reference a puzzle with.
Indeed.
All right.
Alright, well, while I'm sitting here, keep going. Going without me.
What's wrong with you? All you've done is wake
You
up and
wouldn't
go
understand.
outside. Yeah, I'm a stick insect. I live a carefree life.
For a week or so.
Hey, stick insect lifespan. How long does a stick insect
I'll
live?
find out.
No,
While
I'll-
you do
okay.
something.
If I know.
Let's have a look at. Well, I'm still a stick insect. So what about those other trees, the little trees in a grove?
Males, about 6 to 8 months.
See, I'll live forever. And females?
18.
Ah, then I'm a female.
Okay.
If I can get 3 times the lifespan, I'll take it.
So you guys head over to the little cluster of trees?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's go to the tiny grove.
Going all over the place here.
The little cluster of trees isn't particularly interesting in and of itself. However, when you are looking more closely at them, you can see that they are strategically hiding something. There is a little window into the cellar of Miss Hawthorne's house.
I'm so stupid. I was going to ask right at the start if there were any windows, and then I got caught up drawing statues.
You fool. Well, I found
Every
the window.
time.
What's going on in the cellar?
Yeah, are we able, or is he able to peek through the trees?
You've definitely stayed at the bench?
Yeah.
Well, then stop asking questions.
Fair.
What's going on in the cellar?
Unfortunately, it's darker inside than outside right now, so you can't see in. But what you can see is that there's sort of a grate over it, and there is a single lock that needs a key.
Does it seem like... I know it's a not very large window. Is it large enough for, say, a 10-year-old girl to slip through were it open?
It looks just about the size for a 10-year-old girl named Chrysanthemum to slip through.
This is so fortuitous.
Yeah.
All right,
Who would have
good to know.
guessed?
Good to know. I mean, I don't know, so...
It's just the window's just in the shape of the outline of your body.
Oh, that's creepy.
Okay, so we're looking for a key.
Excellent.
Honestly, we don't have a huge amount more of things to start to look at. Let's get looking
Seriously?
around.
There's
Yeah.
plenty.
Well, only if you count each statue as its own statue. If you just count them all as statues, we're practically done.
There is so much to look
Well,
at.
then what do you want to look at?
I want to look at, if we didn't get a good enough look at it, I want to look at the front door, or the back door.
The door.
The locked door.
The only door.
The door is large and ornate, which is kind of strange because it is leading into the back garden. And it has a pair of really big, heavy door knockers on each of the sides of the double door. And you know, even in your short time here, that one of those door knockers squeaks just terribly.
In such a way that it would wake people up.
Probably.
All right, so...
And that's something we're trying to avoid. Like, you don't want to
Well,
be.
yeah.
You don't want it known that you're out here because you get in trouble. So we don't want to like squeak a loud knocker and wake everyone up
No, not so much.
because then you'll get in trouble. I won't get in trouble. I'm a stick insect.
I'm assuming that these door knockers are in the shapes of some kind of cool mythical
definitely,
animal,
yeah.
right?
The mouth of a griffin. Everyone thinks it's an eagle, but it's not. It's a griffin. And you know. If you're in the know, then you know.
That's fair. All right, that's interesting. So maybe we'll be able to rattle around with them at some point, but we don't want to rattle around with them at this stage.
No. It feels like there should be something we can do, though, rather than just avoid the knockers.
Oh yeah, quite possibly. But I haven't been inspired yet.
All right, we'll keep
to
looking
think of
around.
something. All right, I want to take a close look at these stairs as I walk back down them.
The stairs are wide and made of stones, mostly held together with a combination of mortar and gravity. And as you're looking more carefully at them, you see a detail right outside the back door that you hadn't noticed before. It's a small dish.
Ooh,
Small dish.
that's interesting. Can we take a closer look at it? Does it have anything in it?
It doesn't have anything in it, but on the outside, there's a sort of decorative design of several paw prints and the singular initial J.
Interesting.
I guess it belongs to a cat named Jay.
Makes sense to me.
All right, we got a dish with paw prints and a J.
Cats don't eat stick insects, right?
No. Stick insects eat cats.
All right, so I've still got flowers, path, fountain, statues, right?
I suppose so. Why don't we go and check
and
out?
hedge.
And is the path worth checking out? I mean, why don't we walk over to the fountain? But
Yeah.
as we do, we can have a look at this path. And
Yeah,
if it
this
does
seems
anything
like I
weird.
walked up to the front door and then turned around, put my head straight down, and am now just walking.
So, looking at the path, it's largely gravel, but it's lined with slightly bigger rocks. It leads straight down from the stairs into a loop around the fountain, and the gravel and the rocks are both a sort of light gray color.
Does it seem like if I give a gentle nudge to any of them as I go, are there any loose stones or anything?
All of the stones are pretty loose, they're not like fixed in place, but as you're looking, you actually notice there's a missing spot. There's one stone that isn't here. They're very carefully placed around the outside. Miss Hawthorne is a particular woman.
All right, so if we need a korok seed, we can go and grab this rock and put it back.
Perfect. Good to know. All right.
We haven't seen a rock hanging out anywhere yet, have we?
Not that I've noticed.
No, we'll keep an
Unless
eye
a
out, I
dish
suppose.
would fit there. I assume stick insect like water. Want to check out the fountain?
Yeah, why not? That seems like a biology fact. Sure.
At the very least, I'm a plant. I quite like water.
All right, well, let's go check out the fountain.
The fountain is very small to fit into this small garden, but it is also very stately. It consists of several tiers, each spilling water onto the level below it. In the bottom tier, you see what looks like one of the stones from the path's border, except it's a darker gray color. And on the outside of the fountain, you see a small plaque.
Ooh, what does the plaque say?
The plaque says, "Even the sharpest knife sometimes needs a whetstone."
Well,
Now-
we've definitely got a whetstone.
Yeah, when it says whetstone, is it spelled like whetstone or is it spelled like wet stone?
It's spelled like the whetstone that you would use to sharpen a knife.
Okay.
It's very much like Miss Hawthorne to have little pieces of advice written everywhere. She did have knowledge is power over the lesson room door.
Yes,
Hmm.
this is true. All right. Well, I still think we've got a whetstone. I think that's quite important.
Yeah, can we grab that wet stone?
Absolutely. Grabbing the wet stone and turning it over in your hand, you see it is not entirely a darker gray color. There are 3 letters in a lighter gray, A-L-M.
Lots of letters going on here. And ALM sound like real letters, like that would be important.
Well, we know where that's missing. Could we take the stones that are either side of that stone, from where it would be on the path, and put them in the fountain to see if any letters are revealed on those when they get wet?
Absolutely. Looking at just the 2 stones on either side of it, probably one of them has letters on it as well.
Ugh.
As you dip it in, the stone itself darkens to that darker gray, as stones often do, but there seem to be painted on letters that match the exact color of the dry stone that are revealed.
Mm-hmm.
You see, this time, only 2 letters. You see the letters E-N.
Those are very useful sounding letters.
Okay. I feel like a bunch of these rocks are going to have stuff
Yeah.
on them.
Are there too many stones for us to just go through and
Wet all the stones.
do this methodically, stone by stone?
We could use the dish and take water from the fountain and just start pouring it over all the rocks.
That also makes sense, taking water to the stones.
Can we do that?
You can wet all of the stones if you'd like.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Wetting all of the stones, you see 23 of them have letters on them, and you may now open handout 413.
It's a lot of handouts.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Okay, so would you like to read out what we've got, Danny?
All right, so
For people at home, you can see this linked in the show notes, but Danny will describe it to you.
yeah, so we do indeed have 23 stones here. and a collection of letters that goes on them. And you may have to read that 24th special bonus one for me. But yeah, so the very first one says ALM, as we were told. The second one says EN, as we were told. Looks like it's got a line after it, almost like there's a missing letter, like an
EN
underscore.
blank.
Yeah.
Or a
And we've
space.
got, or a space, yes. It may not have been an actual underscore in the real thing. Yep, then HE space, MS dot. Ooh, that's interesting. Is that S comma space?
Looks
It
like
is indeed.
Ooh. Space MI. Should I go through all of them? There's a lot of them.
Yeah, let's get. Well, you done that first row. The second row is CKE, ER space, ITH, NEV, T space T, which is like a kind of angry crying emoji, and space OP.
In the third line, DNI, GHT, ITH, PAL, WHE, space QU. Oh man, I was feeling so good. There were no spaces in that one up till the very end.
And then D space W, GOD, MEE, S space W, WRA, and then Escape from Miss Hawthorne's Garden.
Oh, okay.
In big fancy letters, which I think is maybe branding on this handout rather than a stone that says Escape from Miss Hawthorne's Garden.
I don't know. I think she's trying to tell us something.
Okay, well, I have a plan of what's
Miss
going on here.
Hawthorne.
I think I know what we're doing.
Well, some of these look like they're almost complete words. Like ITH makes me really want to find a W to go with it.
Well, that's my thought.
There's
Like,
a-
you can see as well, like, there's two here that, to me, clearly indicate what we need to do, which is on the third row, it says DNIGHT, which you could make, like, midnight with. And there are other words, like the top right
I
has
didn't
blank
consider
MI.
midnight,
So if you
but
put
yep.
those three stones next to each
You
other,
might
it would
get
be
midnight.
space midnight.
Yep, that's fair. So yeah.
One of them also has a capital W.
Oh, I didn't
WHE.
consider that.
So I think we should just
dang.
start putting them together into words and see if we can make a sentence out of
Yeah,
this.
yeah, for sure. So
And
you think
mark
we
them
should
off as
start
we
with
go.
that W?
Yes, I think it should be WHE.
N, surely.
And
we're
then we
looking for an
need
N.
something that starts with an N. I think
Ooh,
it's the NEV.
whenev.
I think it's going to be whenever because there's an ER space as well.
Oh, fantastic.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a quick grid on my notes so I can mark off the ones that we've used.
Now, unfortunately, after the word whenever,
Whenever.
I have no idea what's
Whenever.
going to come next.
True. Well, we don't need to necessarily do those in order. We can just start making words. Like
Yeah, for
midnight, I
sure.
think, is another one that we've done. for confusion.
Okay, I'll just try to come up with words and then hope that we remember which ones we've used.
We've done where,
Ne?
nev,
Oh, nev.
er.
Great.
Now, that's one word. We
Yep.
also have space, mi, dni, cht. That's midnight.
Great.
So we have whenever, space. We have space midnight. So we know those aren't going together.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be whenever midnight because then you have two spaces.
Yeah, no.
What is this? An old person on a typewriter after doing a full stop?
Okay, now what about this QU one that we've got over on the right? What could that go with? Because that's the start of a word.
It is the start of a word. It's space QU.
Hmm.
QU, quith is, is
When
nothing.
or quith?
Quen, qualm?
Oh, ooh.
Qualms?
Oh, that is a word.
Qualms as a full word, comma space. Maybe we go qualms.
That's an
There's
unusual
nothing else I can-
one.
there's nothing else I
but
like.
Let's give it a try.
All right, we'll go
Might be quap.
Oh no, but it's space OP. I thought of
Ah.
it. Okay.
Okay. All right. Those iths have got to go with either withs or possibly wraith.
Yes, it could be wraith.
So yeah, not sure.
I mean, it is a witchy garden. You never know.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay. What about the op? What's that going to do? That's the start of what? Open.
Open. Yeah, I like open. Are you keeping
Mm.
track of the spaces as well?
No, not at all.
Well, you should.
I'm just writing words.
Yeah, but the spaces are going to be how we fit them together.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, yeah. So it's
Okay.
whenever space.
Yeah.
It's space midnight.
Yeah.
It was space qualms.
Okay.
And it is
Open
space
space.
open
Oh.
space.
Okay. Okay. I understand.
So that'll help us.
I was
like,
just
put
hoping
them
the
together.
words would go together in a way that made sense.
I mean, they probably
but
will as
that's
well.
that's fair. Okay. What's God gonna do down there? God with no space.
Maybe, yeah, true. So it can't just be it's probably not the word God, unless it is, because it could go like God open, God
Hmm.
open.
What about me?
MEE is interesting.
Yeah.
Meat.
Memes.
Meet MEET,
Oh, that's possible.
because we could use the me and the T space T.
That could be true. Oh, and then followed the other T there. Might go with the HE. Meet And the
Meet the. Yeah, I don't hate meet and the.
palms rhymes with qualms. I like it. This is starting to make
Palms.
sense.
Rhyming is good. Rhyming is good. So PAL and MS
Full
dot.
stop.
And that'll be the end. So it'll be something, 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 qualms, something, 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 palms.
Love it.
Okay. Oh, WRA
Yeah.
could go WRACKED, racked.
Oh, that is a word.
Racked with.
Yep. Okay.
Racked with.
Okay. What do we got left?
Gods and with. And you're doing the spaces?
Yep.
Okay, so I think we've got everything we need.
Okay.
We
All
know
right.
it starts with whenever.
Yep. So,
Whenever gods with open palms.
meet the midnight racked with qualms.
That sounds like a thing.
I don't know what to do with that, but it could be a thing. Okay. Oh no, wait, but it has to be open palms at the end.
Do you mind if I have a look at where you've drawn the spaces? Can I
Yeah,
steal your
sure.
notes for a second?
I mean, you're trusting me here.
Whenever gods
I think it's going to be meet the gods with open palms.
meet the gods
Feels
with
like a
open... Well, I mean, this
solid
could
ending.
have something to do with the statues. There could be a god
Absolutely.
with open palms that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
So whenever... But no, whenever has to be followed up by either racked or... So whenever racked with midnight qualms.
Oh, that makes sense.
Whenever racked with midnight qualms,
Aw.
meet the gods with open palms. I think that's it.
There's something adorable about it. I don't know what that is. It just made me go, aw.
Well, there you go. This was... I like that puzzle.
I think I just feel for someone who's racked with midnight qualms.
Oh, so many midnight qualms.
Okay,
so we're looking for
good to
gods with
keep-
open palms.
Good to keep in mind. All right. Does that feel like it's time to start looking at statues then?
That
Or
sounds-
should we look at the flower bed first?
Let's look at the flower bed because it doesn't seem like it's what we need to
Yep,
look at.
okay.
That's a good plan. We're putting off the solution to this puzzle to find other puzzles. We don't want to solve things. We want to find the extra little hidden treasure chest.
I love it. The flower bed houses a collection of plants. Some are decorative, and all of them are useful for various brews and concoctions that the students of Miss Hawthorne learn to make here. And near the flower bed, you see on the ground, there is a pile of those little markers, the sort of flags
Oh, yeah.
that are meant to mark plants. These have been pulled out and cast aside. So you know what plants are here, but you don't know which is which.
Okay,
Oh, no.
that's
Is
fair.
there a plant called the God's Palm?
No, but if you would like to know the names of the plants, I can tell you.
Please.
Well, how many are we talking?
No, I don't care.
Okay,
Tell me all the plants.
There are 9 flags here,
that's okay.
and each of them names the color of the flower that appears on this plant and the plant itself.
All
Ooh,
right.
Okay.
So, here there is white ivy, white begonias, and white sticky catchfly.
I heard sticky catchfly.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a real plant. I did research.
Man, we didn't try very hard coming up with some names, did we? As humans.
Can you change your name right now to Sticky Catchfly? It's me, Sticky Catchfly. And I'm a fly that you stuck and caught.
You may have
Yeah, that
regrets
would've been
later.
That would have been cooler. All right. So, covered those 3 white ones.
Mm-hmm. There are also 3 purple ones. Purple heather, purple rosemary, and the last purple one is purple thornapple.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
Lastly, there are 3 yellow types of flowers. Yellow witch hazel,
Oh, you could have been Witch Hazel.
Yeah, that.
Oh, of course Hazel. No, sorry. I know I am a witch called Hazel. But that's not what I am. I'm not a witch called Hazel. I'm a witch called Witch Hazel.
Yeah, I really missed the boat when blanking on cool names. There are so many good ones.
yellow snapdragon is another one.
Aww.
And last of all, there is yellow pansy.
Why don't you call yourself Yellow Pansy? the biggest insult you could ever say to a cowboy.
All right. The only hint of color stuff that we've seen has been those moon phases.
Yeah,
a
but
little
they didn't
bit.
have yellows and whites. They were all blues and purples. And
Yeah, that sort of thing.
things.
I'm not really seeing a connection there yet, but maybe we
No.
can.
And I'm assuming that Witch Hazel here doesn't have, that's Dani by the way, doesn't have a good enough understanding of these flowers to be able to be like, oh yeah, I know what these all are, thus rendering this entire exercise pointless.
I did biology at uni for 3 years and I can't do plants very well. I don't think being in the magic yard for a week is going to have gotten me there.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
You
Right?
can't identify them specifically, but there are actually 3 types each of white, purple, and yellow flowers.
I would hope I could have gotten that far. That's good.
That's fair.
Okay. All right.
looking at the
Do you think we're ready
statues.
to go for statues?
Yeah, let's start having a look at some of these
Well,
statues.
wait, you sound like you were going to say or.
I don't know, we could look at the hedge.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, you're right. We should look at the hedge first.
Haha, we're not looking at those statues. Get out of here, statues. We're going to have a look at the hedge.
Okay.
All right, the hedge. Thick and tall, the main purpose of the hedge is to keep prying eyes out. But the birds like to build their nests in there too.
You better keep
Oh.
away.
Do we need a bird nest? Maybe later on we'll need an egg or something.
Maybe. Interesting.
Can we see any interesting bird nests from where we are?
You can see some bird nests. You also see this is a hedge that it gets very windy here, and so if anyone is losing strands of hair or hair ribbons or pieces of string, they tend to get caught in here as well, which is one of the reasons the birds like it so much.
Ah,
Interesting.
that is interesting.
Well, we don't need any of those things yet.
Unless we need some dirt against Vivian and she happened to lose something.
Yeah, that's all right.
Or unless we need to take a human hair to turn ourselves into someone else.
Yeah, that could be what we need to do. as
Never
well.
know.
All right, well, let's have a look at the statues finally.
Okay.
Around the garden are 7 statues that you recognize as various Roman deities.
Yes.
Nice.
You unfortunately haven't been studying long enough to recognize them specifically, but you recognize that they are varied and that they are definitely Roman deities. You've been told this before.
All right, easy. Well, let's look for the one with open palms.
Well, is it that we need one with open palms, or is it that we need to go up to them all with open palms?
Oh,
Of
that would be
our
weird.
own.
I think there'll be one of them that has open
I
palms.
know it does say gods.
Okay, fine. We'll go up to each
Well,
of
either way, as we go up to individually inspect them, I am. What's this?
opening your palms.
Yep, I guess so. Is that a good way to do it? Oh god.
You do jazz hands at the god statues.
Yep, that's it.
Investigating them further, you notice many of them have their hands in fists or holding things. Some of them do have their hands open, but all of them that have their hands open have them placed in various places on their body, on their environments, on each other. Not a single palm is visible to you.
Hmm. Interesting.
Oh, I'm stumped.
What can we do?
Um,
Is it technically midnight yet? It
oh,
was
maybe
11:24 when we went out.
Yeah, it's probably midnight.
These are statues. I assume they're not particularly manipulable.
No, they're stone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Might I offer you something that might be amusing to see?
Yes? Yes?
You have not searched an item in this room,
Ah,
and I
was afraid of that.
guarantee Bill will not think of it.
Oh, what?
Oh, that's terrifying.
Search me. I'm a little stick insect. Search me.
Sure.
That's me.
Let's do that. The only thing I can
Search
think of
me.
that I haven't that I've specifically drawn that I haven't thought of and I haven't even specifically drawn on would be the wall itself with the door in it.
Oh, yeah,
with the
we
door in
haven't
it.
checked the wall.
There's the wall and the sign saying knowledge is power over it.
Oh, where was the... I thought it was inside the knowledge
Oh,
is
maybe it
power
was on the
sign.
inside.
The knowledge
Oh,
is
right.
power
Way
is
off.
inside, but bingo,
Okay.
you have gotten it.
Yes.
Search the wall.
Whoa.
You go to look at the wall, and
Why
it
was I
looks-
accused of not wanting... I just searched the hedge.
It was a challenge.
If anyone was gonna...
Yeah. They had to push you, Billy.
I don't need pushing. It's not like I wasn't searching. The last thing I did was search the hedge.
And now look at how
Why did I need
energized you,
pushing?
now look at how energized you are. You know why? It's because you actually drew it on your drawing and yet didn't think of it.
What did you... I didn't have a... I haven't been stuck yet.
Let's take a look at this wall.
The wall looks like a standard brick wall, but there is one brick that seems to be missing the mortar around it.
Ooh, let's pull
how
that brick out.
clumsy.
I steal the brick. I'm now a brick insect.
You squish
I roll
yourself.
my
You
eyes
are
at
pulp
the
on the ground.
insect's pathetic attempts.
You don't know how strong stick insects are. Do you know stick insects so strong that they can remove bricks from walls. It's a fun biology fact for you.
Huh.
There are some stick insects that are absolutely enormous. I went to a place once where there were
big.
ones about like a meter or a yard long, depending on what
Dang.
unit of measurement people use. They were
I'm
enormous.
a 1 meter.
Yeah, about 30
insect.
centimeters is my record for having seen them.
Yeah, I'm a full meter.
I love stick insects so much. They're so cool. They're
They're very
so
I'm a hydraulic
unthreatening.
beast.
All right, let the hydraulic beast pull out a brick.
I got 6 legs. I put 2 up on the wall, 2 on the wall below the brick, and then my middle 2 legs just grab the brick and they pull it out and then drop it on the floor.
Sure, that's how it works.
As you remove the brick, you can clearly see that inside of the wall there's an empty space, and inside of that empty space there is a book.
Insect? Oh, insect?
Nom, 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 nom. Sorry, I ate it. I ate the book.
No.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You should have said something faster. I ate the book. I'm so sorry. We'll
I
be trapped
thought-
forever.
I thought the brick would say to you.
I don't eat bricks.
Why not?
They're bricks. You throw them away and you eat the books that you uncover inside. That's how I live.
All right. Well, luckily, the one other spell
Oh,
that I
look,
have
it's
learned.
fine, there's a book.
All right, the insect gets the book out.
Yeah, what is this book?
The book seems to resemble sort of the equivalent of textbooks that you've been using here. On the cover, though, it has a very strange assortment of letters that are complete nonsense to you. You may now open handout R.
All right, g'day handout R.
Yes,
It
you're
says,
right.
Odge was musvi, jigged pism, the wugpas hajji.
Oh, I also wanted to say, hopefully this will be helpful information to you. The inside of the book is entirely blank, except for, written in ink, the initials MF.
That's Mary Fernweather.
Who's-
Look at the gravestone, Billy.
What gravestone are you talking about? Where was there a gravestone?
We don't know what happened to her, so naturally, gravestone.
Who's Mary Fenweather?
She's the one who earned Miss Hawthorne's wrath,
When?
according to legend.
What are you talking
Pay attention
about?
to the backstory, Billy.
To be fair, the stick insect was not present when Vivian
Oh.
mentioned that you would be in
You're
more
right.
trouble than old cheating Mary Fernheather.
I'm
you were
sorry,
caught
I
out at
can't
night.
expect that much from a
Oh.
4-month-old, I guess.
I see. I didn't remember that
Ugh,
bit. It's
all
not
right.
in my notes, apparently.
Well,
I've written Vivian and a boy. She is a butthead.
I also wrote Vivian and boy. All right, so this is Cody. This is Sundial, right? Sundial, tree,
Yeah.
code.
Well, hold on. Do we
No?
do the tree code of L and Q,
Yeah?
or do we do an MF code?
Oh, I didn't consider that. I assumed that was all law.
Maybe that's all law, and we do L and Q just because we haven't used L and Q, even
Exactly.
though the M and F is in the book. Can we go to the sundial dials and can we line them up so that the
Wait, we've got one of these, don't we?
yeah, but I don't know if they're always the same. We do
Where
have
where
one.
is our cipher wheel?
Which is our cipher wheel?
Where is our cipher wheel?
Oh,
There are also online ones for those of you at home. They're pretty awesome.
all right, using the cipher wheel that we stole from the box 1 box. Are we doing LQ or are we doing MF?
LQ.
So I make sure that L and Q line up.
Let's see if this does anything for us. OJ.
O is N,
Okay.
J is S. That doesn't make sense.
Okay, cool. Let's not work with that. What? And if you swap them around, does it change anything?
No. They line up.
Yeah, they do line
so
up
the
the
inner
same way
O
both
goes
ways.
to the outer end, the outer O goes to the inner
Yep,
end.
yeah, cool.
So
All
it's
right.
the same other way.
Well, how about MF?
Let's try M and F. That's D, I.
Huh.
Neither one of those makes any sense. Maybe I don't know how to use a cipher wheel. Okay, so this is actually a ROT 5 thing.
Okay.
So L to Q is rotating 5.
Oh.
So OJ goes to TO.
So why isn't that working on on the wheel, but it is working on the online wheel?
Because a cipher wheel, at least this one, is the alphabet goes backwards on one and forwards on the other.
Oh, is
So
that
a
what's
cipher wheel
happening?
So it isn't actually a rotational
I
cipher.
see.
It's a different cipher, at least on the cipher wheel.
There
that
we
we've got.
go. It's
'Cause this is
all
two things that are
better
backwards.
then. So we've just got a +5 everything. I can do that. I know alphabet numbers. So 2 W Z. Okay, I'm gonna say that's B.
And
okay,
then Z is
13 R E A D
To read?
To be read.
Or to be read?
Well, we are talking about a book here.
All right.
J is the 10th, 15th. O, N. I'm going to guess this may be only.
To be read only?
P is the 16th. What's the 21st? U, maybe? UNDERABL. Ooh, I like this. UE. Moon, perhaps? To be read only under a blue moon?
Okay.
I'm into that.
So the book says to be read only under a blue moon. Does that mean we can literally go to where the moon is blue through
On
the
that bench and
through
sort
the bench and like look at it through the
through
the
it.
glass?
You're
'Cause
right.
it's
It
stained
was glass,
style.
wasn't it?
So could we take this
I
book
love
over
it.
to the bench where there is a stained glass blue moon in that lunar cycle and read the book through that glass?
As you are trying to position the book to read it through the round, full moon that is a blue stained glass color,
Mm-hmm.
you jostle the bench and it pops right out.
I was about to say,
Oh.
could we actually remove that thing? Maybe that'd be easier. Well, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, then holding a book through a bench. Cool. All right, can we use that to read the book?
Absolutely. As you hold it in front of you, instead of seeing completely blank pages, you see white pages with a sort of pale, glowing blue lettering on them through
Nice.
the blue moon glass. And this does appear to be a textbook sort of spell book.
Love it.
Does it say anything about flowers?
There are some reference pages at the back, but they're very complicated, so you don't think you have time to search through them.
Damn.
Okay. What else could be handy? I mean, is there... Oh, does it have gods?
It has an extremely long appendix of gods
Ugh.
that is
Like reading Lord
unfortunately
of the
not
Rings.
going to be useful.
Anything about lock opening spells? Anything of that
yeah,
nature?
key unlocking spells? You
There
know,
are
when
a
you
few
have
of
to
those.
unlock
They
a key.
seem pretty far beyond your own abilities, and you
Being
have a
10
feeling
sucks.
Miss Hawthorne may have botched those spells in these books so that people don't use them.
Intriguing. Anything about Jay the cat?
Looking through, you actually see there are notes in the margins. And
Ooh, fun.
next to the spell Summon Familiar, which you've learned before, there is
Oh,
a
yeah.
note in handwriting that says, "Not that anyone would need this spell to summon Janice. That cat will come running at anything that sounds even remotely like a mouse."
Nice. Oh, fantastic.
Also, Janus is a Roman god.
Janus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking-
Oh, I was picturing it Janus, like the normal modern Janus.
I pictured it like Janus, the god of open hands, the god of open palms and doorways. They are the god of doorways.
Yeah,
They'll
that
let
does,
us in.
that does make sense.
Well, can we make a mouse sound?
We certainly can. We've got a squeaky door.
Oh, we have a squeaky door. Can we squeak the door?
I will
Just a
say,
little bit.
what you've learned so far about Janus is that he is a predator above anything else. And so you're pretty nervous.
You're not keen. So what can we do to make sure that we can get this cat? And why do we want this cat?
Well, I don't know. Like, what do we have right now? We have a lock that needs a key, a door to the cellar that needs a little key. We have a bunch of flowers that we don't know which flowers are which, nor do we know what we would want to do with said flowers if we did know which was which. We have statues which depict various gods. And then we have, ideally, the poem,
Midnight open
Whenever met
palms,
with-
etc.
or whenever
Racked
racked
with midnight
qualms.
Yep, great. Don't forget there are also birds in the hedges. Birds, cat,
Yeah.
seems relevant. I don't really want to grab a bird to thrust in a cat's face.
True. But other than that, like, we've done the sundial, we've dealt with the bench and the tree and the wall. So yeah, I don't actually know what we would want a cat for.
I mean, it is still a familiar. I assume it's...
Are there
Just
any other notes in the
generally
margins of this
handy.
book if we flick through?
There are quite a few. There are too many to read through. Other notes on Janus, he's pretty mean, and you have a feeling he might impart information back to Miss Hawthorne if you're not careful.
Oh.
Okay. I don't know what we're trying to achieve right now. Knowledge is power. The sharpest knife sometimes needs a whetstone, but I'm pretty sure we use that advice to whet all the stones.
Hmm.
I don't know if we have any other advice other than
God
meet the
poem.
gods with open palms.
Hmm.
None of the gods have open palms, so it feels like we would need to have open palms.
Indeed.
They're posed in various ways that don't show the palm of their hand.
We do have a
Yeah.
spell book.
What spells are we looking for? Because we're not good enough to do any key spells. We're not even good enough to do any summon familiar spells.
Is there anything that can
What's a spell that we want to do?
move statues or alter the way a statue is?
You, paging through, see a spell that's called Awaken Stone.
Oh. All right, what do we need to make that work?
Awaken Stone is a combination of a gift and a request. For the gift, one makes a bracelet or anklet, adder stones or hag stones, and several types of flowering plants. This bracelet or anklet is then placed on the wrist or ankle of a statue that one is trying to bring to life, and one request is then granted as a thank you for that gift.
So, flowers definitely have access to flowers. Are there enough flowers in the flower bed that if we were to pick a couple, we wouldn't have to feel too terrible?
Yeah, it's a very bountiful amount of
Fantastic.
flowers. You do
And
only
string and
need 4
stuff.
types of flowers. You don't need every type.
Do we know what flowers we need?
The spell names Blue Rose, Heather, Begonia, and Witch Hazel.
Well, I notice a problem.
That we don't have blue roses?
Indeed.
Nor do we know which of those flowers is which.
True.
Hazel.
Looking at this spell, you do also notice there is a note next to the ingredient Blue Rose, which says, Miss Hawthorne always says that Snapdragon can be substituted for Blue Rose in a pinch.
Okay. That's good to know.
Cool. Well, then that still leaves us with the issue of don't know how to define which of these plants is which.
True.
The book doesn't help.
Nope, book is too fancy.
Yeah.
Just so that we can also say we needed to string them together. I believe we were told that there are bits
Yep,
and
yep.
stuff in the hedge,
Yep,
so
head
we might be
strings,
able to
fine,
grab
strings.
something.
I have no
from
idea what
there.
hag stones are, unless they're just the stones that make up the.
No, that's a
the
good point. What are
pathway.
hagstones?
Yeah, do we know what those are?
You do know, hagstones or adderstones are a stone with a complete hole that goes all the way through it.
Ah, okay.
There's also a note next to this ingredient in the spell. Have you lost your hagstones? Don't pull out your hair. Just listen close for the hollow, and then the last word is blotted out.
Listen out for the hollow something that presumably
Presumed
rhymes.
with hair.
Mm.
Can we hear any weird, like, whistling through a stone?
No.
What can we do about these flowers? That we know their names, but we don't know what is what.
You said there was a flower. There was like information at the end about flowers, but there's like if we look up specifically the flowers that we're looking for, there's no information that we can find about how to define those flowers.
Yeah, if we were to look up Heather, for instance.
You would find various information about how to identify it. Mostly you see information about the fact that it's an herb and that it's very easy to detect by its smell.
So can we detect it by its smell? Like we know what
Smell.
color it is. We know it's in the garden. Can we figure out which one it is using the book?
Yeah, if we go around sniffing these things, do we get anything interesting?
You go around smelling flowers, and the strongest scent you get does not match with the book's description of Heather's scent. You smell something kind of piney. You know there is a second herb here, however.
Which one is that? Rosemary? Is that rosemary?
It is indeed.
Okay, so by smell, we may be able to identify rosemary, which we don't need for this one.
Yeah, I still don't know whether or not we can do the plants. I'm assuming based on
It's
all of our
tough.
that we can't. My assumption is there is
Having
no
a book
information in the book that relates to
Having
these
a book is
plants.
so scary in terms of how much or little power that you have to find information. It's so hard to know. Is there anything more that we can use this book for to help us out here that we should be thinking about?
I believe you've gained all of the information from the book that you'll be gaining.
Sweet.
And I also believe that you have all of the information to figure out which plant is which.
Oh, dang.
That's interesting because the information I have about the plants is we have 3 of each color, and we do not know what they are.
I'll remind you that you have their names.
Does one of the purple ones have thorns on it?
It has
That would make
thorny
sense.
fruits.
Oh, I didn't consider their descriptions might be handy.
Okay, so it's not the thorn. So we grab whatever the one that isn't
Okay, the
thorny and doesn't smell
leftover
like
one.
rosemary.
You absolutely do so.
Lovely. Okay, that's Heather. Covered. Okay,
Okay,
hey.
the white one of them's going to
Billy.
be sticky.
Yeah, why don't you walk over some of these
No,
white flowers?
I'm an insect. It'll kill me. So the sticky one we discard.
Hmm.
And then we have ivy or begonia. Well, I mean, like ivy is ivy. It looks like ivy. Can we just not
I
take
assume
the
there's
ivy?
is there a good visual difference between the ivy and the begonia?
Only one of them is a climbing plant on a sort of
Fantastic.
trellis.
Cool.
All right, let's take the other one then that's not doing that as the begonias. So that's what we want there. Okay, now what about the others?
Well, that's the problem. I mean, I think I know what snapdragon looks like.
Witch hazel smells interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, what do we know about snapdragon, witch hazel, and pansy?
Pansies are, as far as I know, normal flowers. Snapdragons are weird-looking flowers. Witch hazel, people rub on themselves to cure maladies of the skin.
True.
Witch hazel and snapdragon are very descriptive names.
I mean, yeah, does something look like a witch hazel? And does one look like a dragon?
As you are looking very closely at these yellow flowers, you get either a finger or a little stick bug leg. Gets very, very close to one of them, and you see this flower literally rears up and goes and tries to bite what comes near it.
Gotcha. So that's why looking doesn't work.
Cool. So that's the snapdragon.
Has to be investigating. Okay, great. And we do want that. We need witch hazel versus pansy. Okay, what might they do if we get up close to them?
I yell at the flower and see if it goes, oh, I'm so scared, because it's a pansy.
Actually, yelling does get a response, but it's not what you're expecting. You hear this little noise of harsh laughter.
I guess that's the witch hazel.
Okay, that seems likely. That sounds witchy.
All right, well, we have our plants.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ideally we have our plants, so we pick just one of each of those, right?
Yeah,
or,
just a little bit of each of them.
Yeah, let's hope that we get the statue right first try. Okay, we want to find some stringy stuff that's going on in the hedges. Is that easy enough to find something that we could use as a string trapped in the hedge?
Very much so.
Fantastic. And so now all we need is this hagstone business.
Yes. We don't have any hagstones. None of the stones in the path are hagstones. And apparently, if we listen to something, we might be able to hear.
What do I want to do? I want to figure out this this rhyme. This, if you've lost your hagstone, don't pull out your hair. Listen, something. Listen out for the hollow. There are only so many words that could be, right? If it does rhyme.
Don't pull out your hair. Just listen close for the hollow, bear, chair, lair, glare.
You're right. There are too many words,
Tear.
and that is if it is a rhyme.
Stare.
Oh, stare.
Is there a hollow stare?
Ooh, that makes sense.
Going over and sort of tapping on each of the stairs, you do hear a hollow noise come from one of them.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, get up close to that. Maybe give it a bit more of a tap, or stick our ear down to it.
Oh, just can we like prise the
Oh,
stair
you think
open?
it can be prized open?
It was only held together by gravity.
That's true.
Mortar and gravity. This one does seem to be held together more by gravity than mortar, and it is not difficult to pry it up.
Pried up every stone. Didn't think to do it with the stairs.
It's because we found the dish. So
Yeah,
we're like,
that's
let's look
true.
at the
We got
stairs. It's like,
distracted
we
by
find the
that.
dish. We're like, oh, great.
Yep,
We did it.
that's how it's done. All right, yep.
Inside the stair, you see a little bundle, and inside the bundle are a rather large collection of hagstones.
Okay, well, that's handy. Okay, so I say we open up the book again and we follow the instructions for putting together this bracelet anklet that we want for moving stones, including the flowers that we've just picked, including does the hagstone get also looped through the string?
I reckon it's like, yeah, it's good. That's why it's got a hole in it, right?
It
It's
makes
got
a
its
good
fingers
guess.
and hagstone. All the plants make a little bracelet.
And then pick our favorite god whose hands are open but need a little moving.
No.
Oh, no?
I think we got to go to the Alex Horn statue with its hands clenched in fists because it'll have a key inside of its clenched hands.
Ah, I see.
That's what I think we need to do.
All right, so you find the one with the clenchiest hands.
Yeah, the one that looks most like it's holding us key in its clenched fists, and we try and activate that stone.
You tie the bracelet on, and I want to sit on this image for a second because we see this young witch in her Victorian nightgown with her little stick bug familiar staring up at this enormous stone statue of a Roman god. And what do you ask of it in this moment?
Well, I can't speak. I'm an insect.
Hello, sir, Mr. Your Honor. Might I shake your hand?
You don't have to trick the statue. You can just be like, hey, do you have a key or open
Might
your hands?
you open your hand, yes, of lordly hands?
You hear this deep grumbling, as if a bass voice is coming from the statue very quietly, and it shifts and it opens its palms to you. And you see 2 letters inscribed very largely, one on each palm.
Ooh.
You see the letters N and U as it holds its hands very close together.
Oh, do we need to go to each of these statues and get all of their letters?
Oh, maybe.
Can we go up to another statue and do the same thing and see what letters it gives us?
Mm-hmm. You make a new bracelet. You have gone up to a statue that had its hands pretty close together. It was one of 5 that had its hands pretty close together, and there are 2 that have their hands spread much farther apart.
Okay. All right. Should we do all the close togetheries first?
Yeah, let's do all the close togethers.
You have already gotten NU.
Mm-hmm.
You also have EY, AS, TH, and JA.
All right. And then the 2 faries.
Those are EK and SH.
Okay, well, we can make the name Janus.
That's true.
And
That's handy. Okay.
Oh, it says Janus, JANUS space
Yeah.
H, then AS, Janus has, then THE
The key.
space KEY. Janus has the key.
Okay. That's fantastic. Good to know. Thank you, gods.
So now we've got to call Janus.
Except
Predatorness be damned. Just hide me under your little hat so Janus won't eat me. And then we make a squeaky sound on the door to summon Janus.
I don't know. This seems still not great. And again, even if Janus doesn't eat you, they're still going to squeal on us.
Well, we kill Janus. I think we just
Man,
summon the
that
cat.
sounds
Now
like
that
we
has
just
the key.
That sounds like we just got to push it.
Yeah, summon the cat. We
All right.
Make a squeaking
You
mouse sound.
hide in the wall,
Yep, I'm in the wall.
and I guess I very lightly squeak at the door.
A very old, chubby, fluffy, gruff, angry cat comes running up to you and sits at your feet near the food dish.
Oh, what can I do? Oh god, I really don't want to just steal an egg from a bird nest, nor do I want to kill my familiar.
Looking down at this cat, you see, glinting in the moonlight, a single silver key hanging from his collar.
Grab a key. What's cat gonna do?
Yeah, can I, if I just reach my hand down towards the collar? Any
He makes a
reaction?
face but does nothing to stop you.
Oh, thank god. Hey, Janus, I will totally sneak you food next dinner if you let me take this and keep your cat mouth shut. We
You
good?
see a
We
look
got a
of
deal?
recognition in this cat's eyes, and you remove the key.
Okay, I got the key. I head over to the little window that is covered by the trees, and I see if that's going to unlock that window.
It does indeed.
All right, then, thank God. What do you want to do? You want to be a home stick insect or a garden stick
I'm staying in
insect?
the garden. I'm a
I've got to
stick
be
insect.
honest, you're a familiar. I don't know what happens to your existence.
Oh, when you disappear, I disappear. When you go inside, I'll cease to exist.
Are you okay with that?
I mean, that's fine.
All right.
That's just the way things are.
All right, I fit into the perfect chrysanthemum-shaped hole and sidle my way into the cellar.
Entering the cellar, you manage to hop down, close the window behind you, and run as quietly as you can upstairs and leap into your bed, where, eventually, Miss Hawthorne finds you sound asleep.
Where's Vivian?
Vivian looks flummoxed and almost angrier than you thought a person could be when she sees you there the next morning.